When you look up the definition of the word surrender, it means to cease resistance to an opponent or adversary or other authority and kind of give up your resistance. And that's what I'm doing today. Because usually that resistance is to yourself. And that's what I've been doing as well. We each do. But I also have this resistance for me to a greater understanding, to a higher power. And that's what I know I have been resisting. It is January the 11th of 2026. And I'm going to tell you your story because that's what my life was meant to do, was to tell you how valuable and important you were in the world. I just published a blog post which I'd love for you to read because it will change your life, and it's called It Was Always Your Fear. And it is that. That's the only thing that prevents us from becoming who we could be in our lives and also the world we could create as well. And then we have disbelief, things that we can't accept or can't believe. And I had all of that. But now you'll read it because I received an organized blueprint for how anyone could live a great life, an organized way for us to create a much better world. But telling others that was really challenging for me. And it's been 63 years. I'm saying that because I'm 75 now. But in 1963, when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, I went on a mission. I said, I was 13 years old. But I said, I'm going to change the world. I have to because this can't go on. Having someone assassinated, he was the hope for our world. How could he be gone? That didn't make any sense to anyone, especially me. Especially when I went through the rest of my life and had every challenge, every difficulty, every problem, all of these horrible things that I went through, that I experienced. So I do know what others have gone through and what they experienced because I've lived it. But I was also given the solution. But I was hiding out. And in 2012, that's when we all thought, many people thought the world was going to end. And people were getting rid of their things and all of that. Some people are feeling that way now. Except I know that's not the case. Except I had to surrender. That's why I wrote the article, because I've done something that others couldn't have understood. I didn't understand it. You have something that is new and maybe others don't understand as well, because we all do. It just depends on when we're going to remember and when we're going to decide to own ourselves. And for me, that had to be today. It's January the 11th. And so I've been resisting this because I saw this message. I was led to this message because I said this work was meant to give each person this. And when you understand it, you will see what's happening in our world now or in your life is when more of us are not following this one message that came through in 2012, which I pretended I didn't receive. Yeah, in 2005, I had this dream, which I called a nightmare because that's what it felt like to me. You know, those vivid dreams that you wake up and you don't know if you're awake or asleep still because where am I? That's what happened. But I said I'm going to forget about it because it's not me. I'm not the person who's supposed to bring something to the world that could make a huge change. Except I did. But saying those words aloud and then saying them to others was too challenging. I'm the introvert. I'm not supposed to be doing that. But then I understood that there was an organization in our world, and that's all of the information I received. I talked about this. I've never studied astrology, sciences, or all of that, but I received organized information about every single person. That's why when I meet you, I know what problems you might have, what difficulty, because it's just an energetic block that's in your DNA, in your consciousness now, that you just haven't seen beyond. That's all. I'm the same way. But I get information. I receive information all the time. And as you read that blog post, it will be challenging for you to think or to believe that I made it up or it wasn't organized or it wasn't somehow giving you an understanding of who you are. That's what it is. I mean, there was one thing when we put this together, this is artificial intelligence was saying this, that I had written more than the Bible, more than Harry Potter, more than all of that. Yeah, because I've been doing it for 37 years. And I know that it can change anyone's life. When I say things like, no one has to struggle or suffer, I do know that that is true. But I also know that many people are not going to move their consciousness to a place where they give up the struggle and suffering. That's ingrained within all of us. I've done it, and the way that I did it was money. We all have different blocks. Mine was money. I could not possibly charge enough money knowing that this, how could I be receiving this? You'll hear that in one of the videos there that I published in there because it's there. I knew years ago. But this is what I need you to know, and this is what this work is about. And if more people could do this one message, our world would change and your life would change. That I do know. But this is the message, and you will appreciate it so much. July 11th, 2012. Your story is unique and valuable. It is unique because no other soul shares precisely your story. It holds the utmost value for you. Your story is comprised of everything your past holds, including all that has occurred for you, happened to you, everything you have done, every person you have met, and every word you have spoken. All of it has been and always will be perfect. Your only job then is to seek to know the perfection of your story. Any aspect of your particular story that you attempt to ignore, dismiss, or judge will cause you to experience some difficulty because you are refusing to receive the information and wisdom that your story holds. And when you think about that, what that means is that we will come into the world and we'll screw things up. I've done tons of it. But then you look at it and then you learn something and then you give it back to others. So you have this reflection. You have this period of looking at who you are, that shadow work, and then saying, okay, now I've learned something. Now I can give it to others. But then when we hide and we pretend that it didn't happen or we didn't screw it up, then we're not helping ourselves or helping anyone. And I was doing a lot of that. So this is the day that that changes. And it was planned for this day on January the 11th of 2026. And that can be even verified in numerology, astrologically. You can look it all up. It's all organized. There are things that we figure out in different times, and I was given a way to figure out this organization of our world now, but other people will come along and figure out something else. There have been many who have come before, like I talk about Carl Jung because he was the one who gave us the understanding of synchronicity, and then Wilhelm just blew it out of the park by showing it and showing how it works in our lives and it could work in our world. Enjoy the blog and you will understand that your story is valuable, especially at this time of transition in your life and our world. All right, I'll see you soon.